You know, there are times when you fuck something up so badly that there is no going back. There is no amount of begging that you can do to fix or rectify or undo the damage or repair a relationship. Speaking of which, this is the Gazette. Um, there's a letter to the editor. This is Montreal. There's a letter to the editor. Dear Canada, please don't abandon us. Now it also does opinion articles provide independent perspectives on key community issues separate from our newsroom reporting, which, you know, that's a nice little caveat to throw in there to remind people that the shit you read of people posting on Facebook is like just their opinion, man. But let's yeah. So this is from August 2nd. So it's from earlier this month. Oh, sorry, this is like referencing, sorry, Canada-US border bond, Canada-US bond changed forever. Like, yeah, like we're living history, man. I don't know. Letter writer states Canadian-US relations have been permanently tarnished and concludes that America has shown us who they are. But as in most things, perception is in the eye of the beholder. Who wrote this? Who wrote this letter to be like, hey, listen, fucking America has shown us who they are. But, you know, it's just a matter of perspective, bro. I mean, yeah, I guess. As a grieving American, I ask our irate neighbors to consider a different view. Alright, are you guys ready to be convinced? Are you guys ready to be convinced as to why Canada and Canadians should just let the United States punch us in the face over and over again with They're abandoned. You're getting abandoned. Don't abandon us. You're the one leaving. We didn't go anywhere. Stop abducting our people from across the border. Written by Lazy McCliche. Oh, we're starting off strong today, aren't we? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, tragedy struck me yesterday. I should tell you before we get into this. Tragedy struck me yesterday. Look at it. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. It's actually like where it like I haven't even filed it yet, but pain. I worked so hard. That's okay. In a couple of like, give me 1 month, it'll grow back. I'll get over it. I'm also gonna be live later today on Dapper's channel. We're talking about Sal. Apparently some shenanigans have gone on, and I've been invited to go check out some shenanigans that have gone on. So I'll be over there. Also, there's gonna be a Dumpfuck Friday tomorrow. So if you guys miss Mania, DFF. Also, can we please get me to fucking 4K? This is starting to annoy me. All right, let's go. Yeah, something's gone on with Sal. I don't know what. I'm gonna find out the details when I get there. I don't know. So we'll see. Drug finger. It's the finger. Alright, anyway. Let's get. Are you guys ready to get gaslit? Because that's what's about to happen. We're here to get gaslit. The Americans are good. The American author is gonna gaslight Canadians. We'll see how well this goes. Alright. If a good and trusted friend, the United States, begins to act weirdly, which we have, should the other, Canada, just decide the relationship is toast? I mean, yeah, probably. You think this is a unilateral decision that only Canada is making a decision here? Oh, boy. Instead, wouldn't this purported friend delve into what's wrong and perhaps intervene to help? This is starting off really strong. Brother, we We're a country, not individuals in a relationship. What do you want us to do to intervene to help? We're already helping you as best as we can. What do you want us to do? Assassinate your president? Because, like, I don't know, what are you asking for? Because that's not going to happen. We're not going to do that. What do you mean? I guess never say never, but like I feel like the Canada isn't really keen on starting a war with the United States. I don't think that's something we want. I think that was one of like Carney's main things that got him elected, was that he was like, this isn't a fight we started, this isn't a fight we asked for, but hey, we got to deal with it. Intervene by doing what? Ignoring your sovereignty, ignoring the diplomatic process, and, you know, your alleged democracy. What do you want us to do about it? This is not to negate Canadians' disappointment and anger. I mean, I feel like you're just gonna make it worse, but okay. You know when you're like, you keep talking, and the other person across the way is just letting you talk, and you're just digging yourself into a fucking hole, and nobody stops you, and everybody's just like, and you don't stop yourself by just not shutting the fuck up? I guess if the US, demilitarized Canada could station peacekeepers in DC, free Alaska for their own good. But please realize the last US presidential election saw Donald Trump triumph over Kamala Harris with only 49.8% of the popular vote. Overall, the turnout was about 64% of eligible voters. I'm just gonna take these numbers on board. I don't know if they're actually accurate. I just don't care to fact check it right now. So if you want to fact check it, go for it. Can this person please stop fucking starting sentences with joiners? And. But. Could you please stop? I mean, okay. Overall, the turnout was about 64% of eligible. And during the 2024 election cycle, Elon Musk donated as much as $292 million US dollars to the victor. Yeah, we know. Like, we know that. I think the majority of Canadians who are on Twitter know this information. Again, this isn't like, we're not stupid. Like, I think that probably I would say they might not know the exact number, but if you were like, hey, do you guys think Elon Musk spent a lot of money on the last election? Most Canadians would say, yeah. yeah, I think he did do that. Like, I feel like you're talking to Canadians as if you're talking to Americans about, like, Canadian politics. Like, I don't expect the average US citizen to know dick shit about Canada, but like the 2024 election in the United States was pretty well-known piece of information. It's just, the look on Shesh's face in the thumbnail is just about sums up everyone's feelings about the current state of the union. Yeah. Yeah. Such data, while hardly soothing the profound concern and dismay many Americans are experiencing, suggest apathy and big money were instrumental in the result. Sure. What do you want us to do about it? What are Americans about American politics? Yeah. Yo, you're right. You're right. Okay. Finally, Canadians might also temper their scorn. Have Canadians been treating United States travelers that have come to Canada poorly? Because I haven't heard any stories about that. From my understanding, what Canadians have been like attacking have been boycotts, which is like Canadians just stopped buying American products and aren't traveling to the United States. Like the sales of orange juice and oranges from Florida has dropped 20% or something like that, and it's like the lowest it's been in 20 years. So, like, that, we're not attacking your people, we're just not buying your shit. You entitled assholes. We don't have to buy your stuff. Like, we're not, are the Canadian Coast Guard hopping the border and fucking kidnapping and detaining United States citizens? I don't think that's happening. And that's something the United States is doing. So what do you mean? How are we even what Canadians are doing anything to US citizens? Are you getting bullied on the internet? Does Canada need to run influence operation on the United States to counter the Russian ones? That would be really funny. I did hear about somebody buying a billboard to do something like that. What I would like to see is I would like to see the National Post get basically, or Post Media, get kicked out or be forced to change the name of some of their products because they own a bunch of used to be Canadian-owned newspapers and media. And they're still named after, like, Calgary and like, the National Post, stuff like that. And I think they should be required to... If you're a foreign entity and you're doing media, you shouldn't be allowed to call yourself as if you're local. Right? As if you're locally owned. Stuff like that. But that's a conversation for another day. That's a problem. I would like to see some of that stuff bought back. But anyway, what do you want us to do? Temper their scorn by considering their erstwhile friend is utterly embroiled in a battle for its survival. Don't be mad at me, I keep punching myself in the dick? Is that what you're telling us? Like, I know we're hitting you, like, you're hitting us and punching yourself in the dick at the same time, and we're supposed to be like, wow, your dick must hurt. Well, like, adjusting our jaw? Like... The appeal of the populist movement, which thrust Trump to power, has shown itself to be an insatiable wolf. In short, Canada, don't abandon your stricken neighbor, understand our plight instead, and pray democracy may yet prevail. You have refused to send help for the wildfires and literally wrote a fucking complaint. We fucking sent you so much shit and so much aid over the years, and you haven't done dick shit. Fuck you. Thoughts and prayers, guys. Let's send them. Yeah, alright, tell you what. Sure. You can have all the thoughts and prayers you want. Oh my god. Appeal to populace. I'm sorry, but he didn't get the majority of the votes. Well, that's what they said. They're like, oh, his appeal to the populist movement, while also saying he didn't even get that many votes. He only barely won the popular vote, or barely lost the popular vote, or whatever the fuck this is supposed to mean. But now they're also like the populist movement? I don't know. Anyway, thoughts and prayers. Yeah, okay, so you're gonna do about as much as... So the American people, the people in the United States, are gonna do about as much about Donald Trump and his problematic bullshit as they do about school shootings. Which is to say, fucking nothing. Alright. Yeah, that was it. That was really fucking stupid. I don't know what to tell you. Like, what do you want? What do you want us to do about it? Wouldn't that friend intervene to help? And the intervention to help is thoughts and prayers and please don't be mad at us? Like, talking to us like we have no idea what the fuck is going on? Like, we don't know these things? That law doesn't mean anything if you don't enforce it. Yeah, it's just lines on paper. Okay, imagine if this was 1940s Germany's language towards Britain and France. It would have been a little earlier than that, but yeah, it'd been like 1935. Hey Canada, I know I insulted your mother and your dog, but can you please help a bro out with doing more than that? This article. Who wrote this? I want to call and send a complaint. Let's see what the letter they're responding to said. So this is the letter that they're referencing. Why does this look like shit? What is this? Why does this look like this? Alright, well, American writer shocked by how furious Canadians are with the United States. In his New York Magazine article, the writer suggests that the Canadian chill towards the United States will eventually thaw, especially if the next president is a Democrat. Maybe, but I doubt Canadians will soon forget how America turned against us after being the closest allies and partner for decades. The anger will probably subside, but I believe the relationship will never be the same. Never as trusting or as deep. America has shown us who they are. Somebody named Jerry Trudeau wrote that. I mean, yeah. It's not just Canada that's mad at the United States. And again, I would like to point out, I don't think a Democrat coming to power after Trump is going to do much of anything. Like, not that alone, right? So remember, I feel like the people in the United States have consistently forgot that this is Trump's second term, and he attacked Canada the same way the first time. One of the first things he did in 2016 was put tariffs in. Lazy McCliche. Yeah, right? So, like, America has shown us who they are. Please don't. It's a matter of perception. Let me fucking mansplain to you how fucked up our system is. Why don't you intervene to help us? What do you want with thoughts and prayers? This is so stupid. I don't know. 32 is when Hitler got his German citizenship, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, was that 32? I don't remember. I don't have that date memorized. I don't understand. I don't understand the entitlement, I guess. Or, like, is it seriously, like, a complete lack of understanding, or is it projection? Like, the people in the United States that write these letters and say these things really seem to think that Canadians don't know what's happening in the United States. Our system is fundamentally flawed anyway. It needs to be torn down and rebuilt from scratch. Any system that allows this to happen isn't really worth saving. I think you've got a decent point. Like, I don't think you're wrong. I would say, don't light the house on fire while you're still in it. But, you know, sometimes you got no other choice, I guess. You gotta deal with what you've been handed. But, I mean, empty platitudes mixed with projection. It does feel very projection-y. Like, this guy whoever wrote this is like, well, I don't know anything about other places' politics, so I have to explain to other people my politics, and as if we don't know. And it's like, we know who Elon Musk is. Sorry, I saw a question there. Are you the only guest, or will Dr. Dan and Zach be there also? On Dapper's channel, I'm not the only guest, but I'm not 100% sure who's going to be there. Whether or not I'm going to be drinking, we'll find out later. Within the US, people hardly get anything from other countries in their news media. Yeah, that's a mistake. That is definitively a mistake that people in the United States are doing, and they're mostly doing it to themselves. The United States media consumption rate and, like, what people in the United States, what citizens consume, is, like, incredibly biased and incredibly, like, insular, I guess would be a better word for it. They are not American. They are not American. They have brains. They need to try to remember that. Yeah. other places. There's America and not America. Nobody cares about not America. The reason they believe this is because they are projecting due to not knowing themselves. The most ignorant people about the United States are the United States citizens. It does feel like that. It really does. Like, that really does. I wonder if there's, like, a statistic for this. Like, I wonder if there's, like, some data points. I mean, education would be a pretty good indicator, but, like, I could show you guys an old This Hour Has 22 Minutes of Rick Mercer going to the United States, like, fucking a decade and a half ago, 2 decades ago, and going and just asking random Americans questions about Canada. And it's just like, and it's really dumb too. And it's like Canada having 2 area codes, like things that are inherently absurd if you know anything about Canada. There was one where they said, they asked a couple of American citizens, they were like, hey, Canada's having a problem right now where there's polar bears in Toronto, and we're looking for ways to solve this problem. A couple of things have been proposed, and what we normally do is we catch the polar bears, airlift them, and send them to Edmonton, and then they're back. But the problem is that they're back the next day. So we're talking about potentially erecting a fence between Saskatchewan and Ontario, and they're like, a fence sounds like a really good idea. And it's like, 1, the type of fence you would need to stop a polar bear. 2, polar bears in Toronto. Toronto is more south than, like, the majority of Minnesota. And you have any idea how fast a polar bear would have to run to be able to get from Edmonton to Toronto in one night? And how big that fence would have to be? Look at a map. I heard yesterday somebody told me that there was somebody saying something along the lines of, they were talking about how big Australia is, because Australia is fucking big. And how they're talking about how there's like one state in Australia that if you were to drive through it, it would take like 36 hours if you were to like go through it lengthwise. And then of course people are like, but Texas is bigger. It's like, Texas is bigger than a continent? Texas isn't even bigger than Ontario. Oh my god, look at a map. For fuck's sakes. Toronto, the capital of Canada. There's a lot of people in the United States that think Toronto is our capital. I don't know how that happened. That'd be like a lot of people confusing New York as the capital of the United States. This comes off as somebody treating the reader like an idiot. Let me explain to you these very basic things that is known by the world. Yeah, it really does. Especially since, and like, I think the thing that makes it like a little bit extra sounding like that is that they are responding to this person who's just like, fuck you guys. I agree with this person. I don't think, I think the relationship between the United States and Canada is toast. Absolutely toasted. Absolutely boiled, toasted, stick a fork in it. It's Dunyan rings. It's gonna take the United States 50 years to even start to climb back from this, because Canada's full of a bunch of petty bitches. We will not forget. The Republicans have been working on this since Reagan. Yeah, and the Democrats never been, even when they have control of everything, haven't been able to properly protect, stand up, or rectify any of the things that happened since Reagan, even Nixon. So, like, there hasn't been proper or equal pushback, so it hasn't really worked very well. Those are fast bears, yeah. Texas takes like 11 or 12 hours to get from one side to the other. You're telling me New York is not the capital of the United States? Yeah. Perth, WA, is the most remote major city on the planet. To get from Perth to Adelaide in SA, it's further than 1,400 kilometers. That's a lot. That's a lot. And that's 50 years if the United States turns the fuck around and does a complete 180. But we're not in a position to assume that United States is going to turn around and do a 180. You have to assume that the midterm elections are going to go against fascism. And I'm not willing to take that bet. I'm not willing to bet that. I did see Donald Trump complaining about health problems recently, about wanting to get into heaven or some shit. And I was like, oh yeah. Okay. So if he thinks he's going to be not living much longer based on his health, because he was talking about his health deteriorating, do you really think, like, with so much of the vote going the way of the fascist, that it's not gonna be fucking... You're not gonna keep going that direction? Unless there's enough people more motivated to actually vote, but I'm not really convinced that that's necessarily the case. It would have to be overwhelming. It would have to be overwhelming, and I'm just not seeing overwhelming support in that direction. Oh, by the way, Pierre Poilievre finally did his by-election, and he did win. He won with less of a turnout rate and he won by a lesser percentage. Like, his numbers were lower than the person who had originally won, which makes sense, by like a considerable amount. So there's that. So he's going to be back in Parliament. So we're going to get to watch Sean Fraser bully him because Pierre Poilievre doesn't know how to fucking debate. And so the next thing is Pierre Poilievre he's the leader of the opposition right now in Canada, and he wasn't in Parliament because he lost his seat. So he was trying to lead the Conservative Party without being allowed to be in Parliament. So so he now has to see whether or not he's going to continue being the Conservative Party leader. And there's a lot of infighting right now in the Conservative Party, so there's a decent chance he's going to be yeeted out. And so if he gets yeeted out, he'll become leader of the PPC, which is like the extreme right in Canada. That is also assuming no rigging. Oh, well, we know there's rigging going on, right? For the United States? Yeah, for the midterms. We know there's absolutely rigging going on. And so, like, to pretend that whatever election is about to happen for the midterms is going to be fair and not rigged is, I think, silly regardless of who wins. Even if Donald Trump doesn't win, people are gonna have a hard time accepting the election results regardless. Right? So, I agree with St. Jimmy. There's going to have to be, like, the number of people coming out to vote against it is going to have to be overwhelming, and I'm currently just not seeing... Maybe I'm not looking in the right place. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just my experience. That's just my thought process. I'm not seeing enough motivation. I'm not seeing that energy. I'm not seeing that momentum. And so... And I'm not seeing, like, that level of unity yet from the United States, or from the people of the United States. Now, I also don't know how close are we to the... when is the midterms? They're soon, right? 2025 midterms. Midterms... Oh, not until November. Okay, so, like, there's time. There's time for that to flip over. There's time to build that momentum. There's time to roll that on. So we'll see. Hopefully. I don't know. I think Dump has screwed his billionaire buddies way too much with the tariffs, and they're gonna make him lose. That's a decent... Midterms are next year. What the hell did I look up then? Hold on, what did I see? Oh. What? Elections are scheduled to be held in the United States in large part on November 4th, 2025. Did I get the date wrong? That's what Wikipedia is telling me. The UK is screwed up too. We have legal battles by council and removing asylum seekers from their local area. Why can't people see the truth? Yeah, the UK's got some problems. They're April 7th of next year. Okay. I'm sure you guys are right and I've just got it wrong. I'll take your word for it. Yeah, the UK's got some interesting authoritarian problems right now. Australia and Canada, in my opinion, handled it have handled this populist authoritarianism better than I think most other countries. And France as well so far. Um, and I think Germany like basically kicked the AFD out, right? I mean, I know one of their leaders got like arrested. So I would say Germany, France, Canada, and Australia have basically got this shit on lock. And it right now the biggest the problem children are the United States and England. Like specifically like Brexit shit. So I mean, we'll see. I do know like some like Finland and Sweden are like they're all getting pissed. Like they're all kind of mad. They're talking about actually participating. You know you're in trouble when they start participating. UK being Turf Island, thanks J.K. Rowling. Yeah. I have a little bit of faith in the UK still. I have a little bit of faith still. So I think they can sort it out. I think Brexit was a really big problem and a really big mistake. The Cass Hillary Cass getting sued is a step in the right direction. Um, so I still think that the UK can pull out of this relatively easily. I think part of that is going to just depend on what happens with Russia and Ukraine and the dumb things the United States is doing. Because like having Australia, France, Germany, and Canada all like participating in this whole big rearmament scenario where there's just like tons of military and manufacturing deals going on where there's like just billions and billions of dollars being pumped into these economies and is gonna mess with the flow. Elections are scheduled to be held in the United States in large part on November 3rd, 2026. Oh, November 2026. Not this November, next November. I'm in deep red Florida. Oh boy. Oh, that's unfortunate. Florida is not a good place to be right now. Don't be a whiny bitch, like and share instead. Huh. Bless. Thank you. Get me to 4K, god damn it! I'll do something special at 5K. What will that special thing be? I don't know. I'll think of something. Maybe I'll let you guys pick. I don't know. I think it's interesting. So the UK should go back to the EU. Yeah, I just don't know how feasible or easy or difficult or complicated that is. From my understanding, it's pretty like they're. I don't know if they can like. I'm sure they could. It's just like a matter of like they have to renegotiate it. I mean, if they're gonna renegotiate it, now's a good time to do it because like having economic unity against a threat like the United States, Russia, and China, which is kind of what we're seeing, I don't think China's gonna help the United States anytime soon, but it is a destabilizing factor. And we're also seeing countries like Brazil and India taking steps forward on like the economic world stage. So, by the way, join us on Debate Hub if you want to hear more intelligent people talk about world global politics, where we got Landon, Dapper, and Manya. That's on the 30th over on Debate Hub Official. UK should have never left. It was the stupidest thing ever. Yeah, it was not a good call. Not a great gamble, in my humble opinion. My sock doesn't have a milestone chat to use. Ah. The struggle. The struggle. I do have a little bit of like court updatey stuff to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about it here because we're talking about politics today. But on Monday, make sure you pop up on Monday. Come over on Monday for the chill stream, and I can give you guys some personal updates. There's a DFF tomorrow as well. As if anyone who isn't white is going to dare to line up to vote at a mail-in ballots that are banned. ICE is going to be throwing people in trucks and it won't matter what ID you have till the polls closed. Actually, that's a really good point. Voting is going to be straight up dangerous. I mean, I guess they can't arrest everybody? Like, you might have to go with, like... There's a hole in my shirt. You might have to go with that you might have to go with the mentality of they can't arrest us all and pull like the Russian red wave of like we're just gonna throw people at it. Throw people at it until it dies. Assuming China doesn't have the economic breakdown that's been threatening in the shadows for a while. Yeah, China's interesting. China is fascinating, truly. South Korea also has been doing some crazy shit. Japan fucking stepping a lot of like as much as people think like there's a lot of talk against things like the G5, G7 and like a lot like who cares about the UN? They're actually doing a lot more than I think people realize because it's not firepower because that's not what it's for. It's for just countries being able to be communicative and cooperate. And so, like, I think the expectation has been skewed to think that, like, it's their job to tell other countries what to do, and that's not really what it's for. So, I don't know. There's some things in the UN that are part of the UN that I'm kind of disappointed in, and other things that I'm like, yeah, all right. So... when your government unjustly arrests you, it's time to use your Second Amendment rights. I mean, that is the point. That's what it's for, from my understanding. You should watch the last bit on Johnny Somali that I posted in the Discord. Oh, the guy who in South Korea that keeps breaking the law. That guy. I do want to talk about that. I do want to do that. That is a thing I want to do. The brown-skinned voters need to arm up and protect each other. Take a page from the Black Panthers, and Second Amendment works for them too. Yeah, the Black Panthers, but also, the white people should be helping. One of the things that is like effective to stop the police brutality against like things like Black Lives Matter is to have enough white people show up, which is sad and pathetic. Next court date is the 29th of October. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to like I might do like a little bit of a longer stream where I go through and take a look at like do sort of like a dive stream where we're sort of like getting a grasp of the whole situation. We'll go back and look at some older stuff and sort of just do a dive into it. We'll take a week and then do an update in October for his next court date. White privilege has its uses. Yeah, absolutely. And you should abuse those things against your government, not against other people. Only bullies. Only bullies. Have you considered brick? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Should we do that next week? Do you guys want to do that next week? We'll talk about Johnny next week. 12 to 15 years. South Korea, unless South Korea adds more charges. Tell you what, we're gonna do that. We'll do our normal stream on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we will go in and we'll dive Johnny. That'll be next week. Going to the US in March. I've already deleted over 100 Facebook posts. I'm gonna start phasing in some racist memes and flat earth stuff to make sure I don't get held up at customs. That's Gigabrain. That's great. That's fantastic. So you guys know that just in relation to traveling to the United States, you guys are aware that there's a user that was around called Blonde One, right? And Blonde One got really mad at they popped into the Discord because they were a member. I don't know if they still are. They were a member and they got mad in the Discord because not everybody in the Discord is from America. And a lot of people, including the Americans, are not impressed with what America has been doing. And they said as much. And they got mad. And they said... they basically threatened me and said if I didn't do something or another, they were gonna report me to, like, federal law. Not the Coast Guard. What are they called? Homeland Security. And then they said that they did it. So this person's been running around claiming that they fucking reported me to Homeland Security, and I better look the fuck out. And I'm like, why? Because people don't like what's happening in America right now? Like, what are you talking about? So of course I was like, no. I don't care. But what's interesting is that person, where that person came from was from, like, the anti-Katie Joy scene. So, like, Aaron and Wolf and the company, right? And they wanted me, yeah. So I had already traveled to Kansas, right, last year, to go and be a witness in this case. And one of the reasons this person even started talking to me in the first place was because of that scenario. And they, knowing that there was a chance that I would get called back into court, were trying to report me to Homeland Security, thus preventing me from potentially traveling to the United States or risking myself getting fucking iced for fucking going. What the fuck? I don't understand. It's so crazy. It's so fucking crazy. So yeah, apparently there's a file on me for Homeland Security. I've been reported to the RSCMP, which is the Canadian Royal Mounted Police, which is our, like, FBI. And I've been reported to the actual FBI, supposedly. Or at least my name's come up. I don't fucking know. Yeah, what do you expect from a dump supporter? I mean, it's so strange. It's so weird to be threatened with Homeland Security. Release the Chish files. Goblin to too hard. You have any... I'm not fucking going to the United States right now. Are you fucking high? And I'm even, like, passing. Like, I can get away with it. Like, I don't look like Manya, you know what I mean? Like, Manya'd get fucking... She'd be fucked. Yeah, they keep trying to dox me, quote unquote. Note to self, if traveling to the United States, no sunbathing or fake tan unless you want to be arrested. Yeah. I don't know. You already decided back in 2016 to never travel to the United States. Yeah, fair. I don't know, man. Shit's crazy. Man, I'll tell you, I've dodged some fucking bullets in the last handful of years. How long is it gonna how long is it gonna be before you have to go guerrilla mode? Well, if it makes you feel any better, the United States military is notoriously bad at guerrilla warfare. Like, notoriously bad at guerrilla warfare. So, odds are in your favor. But if we want to talk about, like, how long is it going to be for the United States to devolve into like, proper civil war, I don't know. I honestly don't have a timeline. It's hard to tell because, like, this fascist regime has moved a lot faster than I thought, and now they're getting sort of tripped up in court. So it kind of just depends on how long they're tripped up in court for. And then, I mean, they're ostensibly occupying Washington right now, and they've occupied portions of California and other cities in other states. They're increasing and continuously trying to increase. Like, Stephen Miller is a fucking... Like, as much as we talk about Trump being a problem, Stephen Miller is the real problem. like, the actual threat isn't Donald Trump. The actual threat is Stephen Miller. And whoever is fucking around Stephen Miller. The Valley Girl? Elaborate, please. It's not funny I'm trying to lose my Manchester accent. Oh, you mean do the Valley Girl, like what it kind of sounds like when you talk like that? Is that what you mean? Just go watch Legally Blonde. Like, oh my god. Like, what's going on? I'm so excited to be here. People versus the military sounds tough. Until you realize the military entirely depends on civilian infrastructure. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, and the Valley Girl accent, you can manipulate. It doesn't always have to be exactly the same. You can there's variations of it. Rez, I hate that accent. What accent do you like, Rez? Do you even have one? You have one that you like? You got Negative Nancy? Alright, I should get it. This has turned into just me hanging out. This is not what this is for. That's not what this is for. That's Monday stream. Monday stream is hangout days. Which British? The Cockney British or the posh British? I'm Cockney, I'm uncultured. The reign of the Spain falls mainly on the plain. The life of the wife was ended by the knife. We're discussing how to avoid customs. That's political. You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. If you think you're going to the United States, they're not going to be expecting you to have a United States accent. They're not expecting it. You're already thinking that they're spending too much time thinking about this. They're not. A lot of the border agents don't know what the fuck's going on right now because everything's so chaotic. They did so well in Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan. They claimed victory for World War II when they only show up to mop up. For the mop up. Your guild is full of black Asians. I hear a lot of wonderful accents of Indian, Somali, Malay, is that what that is? Chinese, as well as mixed accents. They sound great. Oh, yeah. Yeah. How to show you're not American. How do you say bottle of water? Bottle of water? Bottle? I don't know if it's Canadian to say bottle sounds like it has a D instead of T's. Bottle, like it's bottle as opposed to bottle. Like it's a bottle of water. Bottle of water. What? Kent Hovind. Water. 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 But yeah, I don't know. Is it more American to have the T, or is it because there's a plethora of accents across Canada as well. So bottle, bottle, sounds like a D sound. Bottle. For me, and I'm in Southern Ontario. Whereas British just doesn't do the bottle, just skips it entirely. Aussie sounds like bottle too. Bwattle. Bwattle. What? This stream has devolved. A bottle of water. There's not even an F for of. When I try to talk like the queen, I just sound like Cersei Lannister. I'm not confident enough that people over there won't think she's a real historical figure and arrest you for war crimes. That's okay, they don't arrest anybody for war crimes in America. In the United States, war crimes are just they might give you a job in office. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, and I'm just trying to think about like the like if you go like more Western Canadian or Eastern Canadian, and you get like the if you start bringing out like the Newfie, how bottle sounds. Like it's I think that one's pretty consistent. Like Terrence and Phillip. War crimes are just a Tuesday for this administration. They're doing war crimes against their own people. Oh my god. What a nightmare. It's gonna get worse. I keep saying this. I keep saying this. I don't mean to sound doomer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this sounds doomer. The United States is gonna get worse. It's going to keep getting worse. We are barely scratching the surface with how bad it's going to get. Like it's going to get worse. And I mean that not in a doomer, not in a that there means there's nothing you can do about it. I mean that as a warning and as a hey, I'm looking out for you. It's going to get worse. So prep now. Now start prepping. Like start prepping last year. Like it's gonna get bad. It's going to get bad. It's gonna get worse. There's going to be famine. There's going to be like no medical care. There's gonna be like if you have money, pay for a veterinary course, like a certificate, so you know how to do like sutras and like have access to some like medical equipment. Like maybe it might be in your best interest to do like basic like bone setting and like maybe consider a veterinary course. The your local community college. Maybe buy some non-perishables. Start a garden. Learn how to sew. Learning how to sew would be useful. Fix your own clothes. Learn how to dig a trench. Get a basement. Install a basement. I recommend installing a basement. Don't tell anybody. How they keep coming across this. How common are basements in the United States? Like I'm surely that depends on where you go in the United States, right? Like does Minnesota do basements? Yeah, libraries. It might be in your best interest to, and like a lot of infrastructure might get destroyed, so you might lose like connectivity, like internet connectivity and communications. So it might be a good idea to like get hard copies or files of like books that you want. I'm encouraging my friends in the United States to get out. They're either unable or unwilling. Yeah, that does seem to be. Plant an apple tree? Maybe? Yeah, get out. Get out. You can fight for your country outside of it. You don't have to I don't know. Mostly northeast. So like Vermont? Like, Vermont has basements? The South doesn't, it's too wet. Huh. Most of us just don't have the money to leave. Yeah. I mean, it depends on where you're going, but like walk. I don't know what to tell you. In some of these extreme cases, your best option is to just like sell everything that you have and walk. Number one employer will be minimum wage prison guards. Yeah. Tornado Alley does have storm cellars. Oh, okay. I disagree with the money issue. I mean, I get it. I get that like money is a really big concern. But well, an asylum might not be an option. Right? So like if you're coming from Syria, you have a decent chance of applying for asylum. So isn't the American dream to kind of be able to start from nothing and build yourself up wherever you go? Go to the camping gear store and get your camping gear. Like, go do it now before it fucking explodes in price. Get yourself some fucking canvas bag. Get yourself some fucking thread. Learn to knit or something. Get a fucking tent. Get a good fucking sleeping bag. Get like a little fucking get yourself one of those little generators and a solar panel power thing, and then get yourself like a plug-in like hot plate or something like that. Americans can usually immigrate easier than people from, say, Middle East or South America. Yeah, I mean, it depends on it depends on what you're doing and where you're going, and there are certainly like easier avenues than others. But like, yeah, an electric burner. Hey, Godless Cover, good to see you. First group to scream for welfare in the near future will be the Trump supporters when they're starving because their farming industry is fucked. It's already happening. We saw what was happening in Nevada. Like, that's a relative, like, Nevada's pretty red. Nevada's pretty fucking red. I guess I should do a series on, like, how to survive being homeless. Or how to survive the downfall of capitalist America. Yeah, there are treaties with Canada and Europe. Yeah. Like, and one of the things is like you can just like stop over, right? Like right now, you can just go to Canada for 6 months with no questions asked if you're a United States citizen. Like there's 6 months is part of the deal. It's part of our trade agreement that is still active. So it might be in your best interest to take advantage of it while it's still active and come across for a handful of months and find things and look for shit and see what you can do and go from there. And then worst case scenario, you go back home. They're literally trying to make it be illegal to be homeless here. Yeah, I mean, they do that in a lot of places, but do the rules apply in America right now? I don't think the rules really apply. Only just got here and I have no context, but the words of South Park blame Canada. Yeah. Yeah, it's not too hard to apply for a whole year either. Yeah, and I don't even think it's that expensive. Like, you can travel to Canada for free. Like, it doesn't cost you any money. Like, you don't have to, like, pay to get in. You know what I mean? You can just walk. You can just walk across the border. There's a bridge. It's a footbridge. You can just walk. The thing that you need to pay for is a passport. That's the only thing you need to pay for. But that's not you paying Canada. That's you paying the United States. So, like, get a passport. It's an excuse to arrest people? Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, Scandinavian countries have basically solved homelessness is not a real problem. It's a problem that greed invents. It's not like a real unsolvable, how do we possibly manage this? No, it's bad resource management because people are greedy and shitty and don't want to do anything about it. They would rather bitch about it than fix it. It's not a hard problem to solve, we just don't because we suck. My city could be homeless free in like 2 years if it wanted to be. It could mean 6 months of protection from ICE, thinking you don't look American enough. Yeah, there's also that. I'm expecting to see, like, Canada's also going to need more workers because our population's not big enough for the amount of infrastructure and growth our manufacturing industry is going to see, I suspect. So if you're going to do it, how is Canada's policy on political asylum? So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're making some changes to that. I don't know, and I'd have to check. And I'm not going to do that right now. But we will do that. Why don't we do that? We're going to do this as part of a Survive American... Alright, we're doing a new series. We're going to talk about Johnny. We're going to talk about Johnny, and we're going to have to do how to survive the downfall... How to survive fascist America 101 as your food industry collapses. some policies complaining about a homeless and unwilling to put money in to help them. Well, and like you have to think of it like it's an investment, right? So like if somebody isn't homeless and is able to participate and pay electricity and pay in, you're going to make more than you ever spent to get them out of being homeless in the first place, right? But people are fucking stupid. And people aren't and politicians aren't really that invested in that, and they should be, but also like it's fiscally reasonable to eliminate homelessness, right? It's fiscally responsible. It's fiscally lucrative to do so, but we don't do a good job marketing and explaining it, I guess, would be the way I would put it. Canada is very open to American doctors and scientists, and so is France, actually. France as well. Many people say the US is the hottest country in the world right now, except far-left lunatics. Everyone else tell me I'm great at golf. Everybody else tell me I'm great at golf. I'm so good at golf. At least here they don't want to help the homeless because they get free labor if they're arrested and sent to a private prisons. Yeah, privatized prisons are a problem. Putting up the system is often just a huge one-off cost, and the subsequent cost should be pretty low comparatively. Yeah, it's the same as, like, feeding children at school. Feeding children at school is an investment. It costs some money. Once it's implemented, the cost is negligible for the amount of money that you get in return over the next 30, 40, 50 years of labor that you're getting out of this child who is now an adult that you would not have gotten if they were not able to complete their education. Yeah, no home equals no bank equals no job equals no home, rinse and repeat. Yeah. Job hunting is already a shit show nightmare, and then you can't job hunt without an address. And so the US is on fire, that's why it's hot. Yeah. Australia as well. Yeah, I think that Canada and Australia and probably the UK and France could eliminate homelessness relatively easily at a relatively low cost. It would just be a matter of like passing the policy and implementing it. I wouldn't. We'll see. There's a big increase recently for for Canada's military as well. Our military has got a raise. Our minimum wage is going up in September. I believe September, the next month, a couple weeks. Hey, money. So right now Canada's inflation rate is at like 1.7%, so it's like the lowest. It's the lowest it's been in years, but I believe it's the lowest in the G7 now currently. And so if our inflation rate stays down and our minimum wage goes up, we're gonna start to hopefully see that gap closing a little bit, because this will keep going up, but it'll keep going up at a slower rate than this goes up. So hopefully we can catch these things and get them a little bit. It doesn't mean that there can't be no gap. It just means that the gap needs to not be as far as it is, right? And you don't want zero inflation. Zero inflation isn't healthy for an economy either. You don't want none, and you definitely don't want negative, right? So you do want an increase in value happening. It's just, or even if it plateaus, right? If it plateaus or stays at a low increase, even if it dips a little bit once in a while, that's fine. You want it to fluctuate, but like, you don't want to have like zero. GDP is a flawed metric. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that before. It's flawed in a complicated system. It is incredibly flawed to only look at one metric in the first place. So even if, right? So like, if you're going to monitor a volcano, if you're only looking at the smoke coming out of the volcano and that's the only thing you're measuring, you're an idiot. You're not learning very much about that volcano, are you? If you're playing Pokemon and you only look at the attack stat and no other stats and don't know what anything else does, and you're only measuring the value of a Pokemon based on its attack stat and none of its other stats, you're not very good at this. It's so easy to not go to America. It is. It's true. It's true. Throwback. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for joining me. God, that letter was really fucking stupid and condescending and it assumes everyone is dumb but them. And fuck that person. In particular, whoever wrote that. You're dumb. And I hate your face. I'm gonna get out of here. See you guys for Dumbfuck Friday tomorrow. And I'll catch you guys over at Dapper's stream later tonight. Like and subscribe and get me to 4K so I can do a 5K special soon. Okay, bye! Remind me to make Manya play Overcooked with me. Okay, bye!
Scared, Daddy?